Hello everyone, this is Johnny here again, and I'm going to be going over 4 peer responses over the last pages of the book, The Guard Gate. The first person I'm going to go over is Morgan Christian, and Morgan addresses the question of how, since we've completed the book, what is it that they liked most about it? And Morgan responded that pretty much what a lot of people have said is that, we weren't aware of eugenics first and foremost, and that how it was used to pretty much say it's okay to be racist in a scientific way. And this type of pseudoscience was being pushed by people of prestigious stature, politicians, even respected scientists from around the world. Not a lot of them, but enough to start a movement. And so I think that's where Morgan was trying to go with that. The next person I'm going to address is Adriana Wooldridge, and she goes over the question of what she liked least about the book. And I think this was a very popular opinion, that the book was very hard to read because it was very dense. It had a lot of vernacular that was unbeknownst to us. And I think because of that, it made us have to kind of reread or take it slow while we're reading it. It was very different from the first 2 books it seemed like anybody could read it. But other than that, she said that what was being told was horrifying and hard to read at times, especially since it was allowed to go on through our country. That was a very popular opinion on both ends. So the next person I'm going to be going over is Maria Mata Marines, and she addresses the question of how to initiate a call to action. And this is a hard question, especially seeing how this was so long ago, but it's not like we've came very far from it. We've had progress, but we are still in a hot mess when it comes to racism. At this point, I think it's a little bit harder because it's not so overt, so people are quick to say that it doesn't exist, which is just not true. But she states that what was being used back then can be used as a way to look back and reflect on what we can't do today, so to speak, as certain pseudosciences that try to promote things that aren't true. She brought up some other stuff like eugenics. Of course, it's still being talked about, but amongst people that aren't very savvy with science, and other things like creationism and anti-vaccines. And although one of those doesn't have much to do with this book, I think her point is that when people try to use science that they don't understand to push their narrative, it starts to give other people a reason to use that to be racist and have a reason to justify it. And the last person, but not least, is Sierra Gonzalez, and she addresses the question about what she liked least about the book. And although it's similar to what Adriana had said, I think she brought up another valid point, is that the author tries to cram a lot of information in small sections. And although it's a very large book in terms of pages, it still felt like there was too much being said at once, and that I can agree with. I didn't have to reread much, but I did feel like at times it was almost like he was trying to push a lot more into it so it didn't extend out. And that would make more sense because you don't want to overdo it with the words, but it was a little bit dense in certain aspects. And so that's all I have for this last video, it seems like, for the last book that we have. And out of the 3, this is one of the most informative when it comes to how science was used to give these narratives that were just honestly disgusting. It was nice talking to everybody, and have a nice day.